that gives advantage towards AEROWOLF to see what they have for their strategy here today. But will they play the same kind of game? That's a bigger question, because banning out straight away again, Uranus. I love this game already. The moment they ban out Uranus and Esmeralda, this just narrowed down the options for BIGETRON and and also GENFLIX AEROWOLF, making it a different kind of hero pool that we're looking here today to be played.
Yeah, this is a very Indonesian sort of opening here where, you know, they're getting rid of some of the top picks that usually people are contesting for because they're so well interconnected here. The question is whether they want to get rid of Kaja or the Ling. Both have their own pros and cons here, but low Yi, so they open up the board with this.
Yep, might as well just making sure they have the same amount of pool that they can play for BIGETRON. While GENFLIX AEROWOLF straight away locking on clock, they still have Ling. Mind you that Ling, Kaja, and there's also Atlas, obviously Valier. So many good heroes still be played in the hero pool. This is really crucial for the side of AEROWOLF to think through what they really want. Yes, Cloud is a very strong hero, but what they will pick against them, BIGETRON will actually counter it 100%.
Yeah, this draft is particularly interesting because they're not going for their core straight away. They're looking for the counter pick as much as they can.
They don't want to show the trump card.
Yeah.
Because it will be counter picked easily.
And it kind of gives priority. Like, both teams are trying to fake each other out here. Like, both have the option of going for priority picks. GENFLIX AEROWOLF, they managed to snag away the Claude, and BIGETRON Esports, they managed to snag away the Kaja as well as the Thamos. GENFLIX AEROWOLF, they are really, really thinking about this.
Oh man, this is just getting more interesting than ever. We'll look at Popo and Kupa. Obviously, we play as a support, but I'm not sure how they're gonna play or place this Natalia so far. We do see, okay, they can put the Natalia as a support as well, or even in offlane, but this is so hard to read.
It's tough. Yeah, it's a tough read here, but it looks like I was thinking whether BIGETRON wanted to actually go for the Link here and then expect to get GENFLIX AEROWOLF to ban out the Angela, but instead, again, they are focusing primarily on their supports before they start locking in their cores. The Diggy ban, definitely understandable with so many CC options coming in from BIGETRON Esports. Plus, what else can you really ban against GENFLIX AEROWOLF? Like, arguably Jawhead, but even then, BIGETRON is looking for that core counter pick.
It's either a marksman or an assassin. There you go. Carry straight out into the ban pool. We're down to 2 more heroes to finish up the lineup for both of the team. BIGETRON, they're thinking this through. They need to win at least just 1 game to make sure they qualify for later on the playoffs. While AEROWOLF is go big or go home because they don't have any other option to just win straight 2-0 into the series.
They can play Angela here if they want to, but it looks like
it's a huge combo play for BIGETRON. But you know, the fact that they already take Popo, like, oh my goodness me. The moment you say you hate Nana, they're gonna bring it up to you here, Gideon.
Yeah, it looks like they prefer the Nana a little bit more because she has counterplay against the Natalia. Farsa doesn't have much. Like, the moment the smoke screen comes down, you're just praying that she doesn't one-shot you until you can walk out of it. However, with the passive coming in from Nana, Natalia kills her, she walks away as a little Tanuki thing. I don't even know what to really call it, but I'm just gonna keep up with the Tanuki.
Gift,
I'm just gonna call it a Tanuki because it sounds cuter. But now GENFLIX AEROWOLF, their draft. No way.
This is interesting. They will lock it for sure, and it's gonna be Farsa and also Terizla. We haven't seen Terizla that much in the tournament or the series, but it will be a very refreshing game here. We're talking about BIGETRON have to lock 1 more hero down. It's either an assassin or a marksman, so they have to pick this one right.
I'm guessing
Hellcat.
They're thinking between Granger and Lancelot here. Both have their own pros and cons.
I mean, Hellcat is not bad as well, you know.
I mean,
it's
sure.
kind of hard, but well, there you go. You got your Lancelot with the Farsa, so Farsa will have to struggle this one.
And the reason why I say Hellcat is particularly bad in this situation is because, like, yes, you dash in, you try to get the silence, but if you so happen to dash in, there's a lot of escape mechanics for Popo and Kupal as well. I mean, Popo and Kupal was the most viable one to get caught out, but Farsa as well as Claude both have very strong escape mechanics, so you need that sticking power that Lancelot has.
And at the same time, we do see Taka this time instead we're playing. So it's gonna be a different game than we've seen before because even the draft is changed and the players has been changed as well. So the dynamic totally be different. But for GENFLIX AEROWOLF, huge pressure on them.
Yeah, so much pressure on them.
Enormous.
Hopefully the composition that they've kind of cooked up here is going to be enough to deal with BIGETRON Esports because Terizla, yes, it is okay in the side lane, but it's not like, I don't see him getting ahead. And that's kind of the issue here. Like, no Uranus, no Esmeralda, whatever. Now it's going to be a Thamos into the Terizla matchup, which is pretty much, it's not really going to go anywhere.
Is it really?
If they play like perfectly how they should play the lane, it doesn't go anywhere.
But Terizla is kind of slow, but if he can swing his hammer on top of everything that he aims, and as long as there's a setter for him, or he can just flicker in and make sure he land that penalty zone. We've seen it before, right?
Yes.
We've seen it before. That penalty zone can be a game changer.
Yes, it can. And I have no you want that CC to land on.
Yeah, we're gonna jump straight into the game to see if we're debating. We cannot know if it's right or wrong until the players prove us which side we should be looking at. And straight into the game, we're looking at Rave. He's gonna have himself, I'm not sure if he take himself the first kill or the trap. Usually it will be the trap, but Renazmi, oh, he just dive in. That's not a problem for him. And they neglecting bottom lane, going for mid and also top lane here, clearing up the buff, making sure they take an invasive play on the side of AEROWOLF, while on the other hand, mid lane is really heavily occupied for now.
Yeah, they're gonna look to like punish them as much as they can, but the Lethal Wanderer still goes over to BTR down on the bottom. I think what Renazmi did was especially smart, and a lot of high-level players in Mythic don't do. KYY now in a lot of trouble here. Midgard will be able to secure this. No, that passive allows her to walk away scot-free as Taka is there to slow down the rest of the members of GENFLIX AEROWOLF. He needs to go back into lane to hit that level 2. But going back, oh, King Brands, can he secure this kill? What? That killed? That killed? Oh boy, that's gonna be first blood.
Fast hand, fast reaction time. But at the same time, he lacked one buff. Even though he doesn't have his red buff, but it's enough that he got himself that blue. That blue is really crucial and important to him to making sure his CDs are on point. But at the same time, can Watt actually just finish off that red buff without it being stolen on the side of the BIGETRON Esports?
Dang, I really thought that he would be able to walk away with 1 HP there. Like, it wasn't looking too good, but now BTR being a little bit more aggressive to try and steal away this red buff. But Watt, he still is going to be the hard carry for this team. He knows his role. He knows his position as he slowly walks up towards BTR, harassing them and poking them as they move away. Midgard forcing a fight here. BTR, they're going in for the full-on fight. Rave is in a lot of trouble. He's been chunked out to half. However, luckily, King Brands, he has no more abilities. He knows his limits. He bails.
I like the fact how Kaja or Bravo actually plays this. The moment they got himself a 4-man, he makes sure that he's not showing himself way too much in the map. So they are unsure where is the Kaja position just now, because he might just be following up from the back. So that kind of make the side of AEROWOLF to be hesitant for a bit and force into a retreat and not extended their fight just now. But again, Brands, that reaction time, holy smoke, that's really fast.
Yeah, he is one fast boy. Now, notice that they've already switched lanes here. Midgard is now able to go to the top side of the map, while Terizla is able to face head-to-head against this Thamos in a 1v1 that's favored to literally nobody.
It's 0-1 for now, but pretty much still at a stalemate. Both teams are playing very cautious. They are both knowing what they are planning to do. They are reading their own minds here. Well, on top, engaging for the fight against the Kaja. But I think it's going to be okay for Bravo to stick into this lane here. He won't be having a problem as long as he's playing it very safe.
Yeah, now keep your eyes on Terizla here, because he is utilizing his advantage of clearing waves faster than the Thamos to gain information for the rest of the team of GENFLIX AEROWOLF. Like, they know that blue buff is still up, therefore their hyper carry won't be here when we're doing the turtle. And now they've caught him out. Renazmi, he doesn't have his ultimate. He tries to go for the penalty zone. He lands it on 2, but can they follow up here? Rave trying to secure the kill onto Taka, but here, surviving through all that damage, and unfortunately, Midgard was a little late on the rotation. Farsa just right outside the feathered airstrike.
If only Clay actually was in the zone there, they're probably going to be a huge lockdown for them, but they try to get Brents. Brents try to roast on away. He will having a hard time to be catched by these guys here. They don't have 100% CC on the side of AEROWOLF.
And it's a good thing too that King Brands has some pretty great reaction time. He was able to go invulnerable in that Thorn Rose to dodge the stuns coming in from his opponents, but now Brands already having to bail away, thinking that Raze might come out, but he is suppressed straight away with the Divine Judgment, gets pulled under turret. Easy, secure kill for BIGETRON.
They don't have a definite CC. They don't have anybody to lock down King Brent. Hugh wildly just running all over, rampant around the map here. Nobody can stop him. They have Kaja even on this side. So it's easy for them to catch Watt, even though he is being farmed up.
Watt has to wait for the right conditions to make things work here. The rest of the BT are trying to find some kind of advantage, and because of this lane transition, notice that BIGETRON also responded with their own lane swap, forcing Kaja down to the bot side, and Taka having full control because he is in a winning matchup against this Natalia.
Oh, this Natalia there's no way. This Natalia right now is just a walking ward. You cannot do anything. You don't have burst damage until you got pretty much decent items till mid-game. And they have to buy more time for Watt as well. So Watt tried to stack up his stacks as much as possible, try to get the farm done. But at the same time, Brent, nobody is trying to stop him.
Yep, and now they're already rotating towards the top side here. Oh, they get sucked in with the perfect match in the penalty zone to follow up as a counter ultimate. Farsa just out of turret range, gonna chuck down Bravo with a feathered airstrike, and they get 2-4-1 in favor of GENFLIX AEROWOLF.
Keep this going. They might have a chance here for AEROWOLF to win themselves the 2. Oh, but Clay got caught. No way Clay can get out from there. It's just pretty locked up there. At the same time, Natalia tried to split push, but it's going to be hard for her to just clear the wave. It's a bit slow. Than the Renosmi himself, but I don't know.
Just great, honestly, great play from BIGETRON despite...
Both of them. I like the fact that Arrow will follow up that penalty zone as well.
Yeah, and now Renosmi, he's getting caught out a little bit here, gets hit by the perfect execution, but he's still with the body of the Smith. He is too big of a boy. Blazing Duet coming into the back line here to try and pick off Dreams. Can't get away with the perfect match. And now they're jumping onto King Brad. He's finally unable to use any visibilities, but that last dash able to get him out of that feathered airstrike. GENFLIX AEROWOLF trade 1-for-1 against BIGETRON Esports. Both are unrelenting.
Yeah, if only they have Flame Shot along the way, they're probably going to be handy. But now, top, they have to jeopardize this lane as well. Midgard try to buy and stall time here, but it's not going to be enough. That Thorn Rose is too much of a pain. Really hard to get away, and Clay also kind of hesitant to show himself in the area because he knows once King Brent can lock him down, there's no way out for Clay anymore.
Yeah, BIGETRON is purely playing off of priority here. Perfect execution coming on to Renosmi here. The penalty zone is only going to hit Taka. Can he survive this? No, the perfect match is going to lock him down and pull him backwards as well. That body of the Smith is good, but not good enough to withstand the might of BIGETRON.
Rave having a hard time to just follow up with the engagement and ambush coming out from BIGETRON Esports. They have been trying to pick off a lot of heroes, going for a 4-1 formation here. They're all over the place. Nobody on their respective lane. There's no dedicated lane for these guys. As long as they can pick heroes, they farm the heroes. The lanes that closest to it, they will try to push it.
As you can see that GENFLIX AEROWOLF actually wants BIGETRON to actually go for these engages. The 2 Purifies from Clay and Rave tells me that they're not looking to make the play. They're waiting for BIGETRON to make a mistake and really punish the engage coming in from Dreams, because the counter ult coming in from Renosmi is going to be extremely important to slow down the firepower coming out of BIGETRON Esports.
That's the thing. If they want Renosmi to actually initiate or actually be the setter for the team, it's hard for Rave to be the one that actually tanks everything to bait everything out.
I mean, they're just hoping that they mess up the engage coming in for BIGETRON here. But now, Feather Airstrike cutting down KYY here, and this is how they kind of want to play the game. They play the map, look to scale towards the late game where they can shred everybody with the Claude, and just hope that BIGETRON make the mistake of pushing too far with their engagements.
Just hoping it's never going to be enough. You know that what if they never make the mistake that you are anticipating or hoping for? It's kind of hard, but what slowly but surely try to push on top here, but they are exposing their mid lane too much, and that's going to be Clay down as well. They need Clay's ultimate to just follow up the combo from Renazmi. And that's not going to happen because Raven and Renazmi got caught in Nana's ultimate. And they will have to force into a retreat. Both of them down to half HP left. Renazmi forced to use the flicker as well. And both top and bottom lane is kind of struggling to keep the boat afloat.
Hey, as long as they have that mid turn, they have something to fall back to, despite not having too much jungle pressure overall. And Bigetron, they will need to dedicate split pushers to go and split push before going into the jungle. So again, it's still a lot difficult. Oh, that feather airstrike cutting them down. Watt already taking his battle mirror image just to dodge the damage from King Brands, but he wants to re-engage here, and this is going to be a big fight. Penalty zone landing on 2 people with a fatal links as well. Not going to be going too well for the side of BIGETRON Esports. Taka on the run, but his ultimate ain't going to sustain him enough. Midgard gets chunked to half HP by King Brands. King Brands unable to pick up Clay. He needs a kill. They find it, but unfortunately, he goes down. And GENFLIX AEROWOLF, with all their members still alive, take out 4 from the side of BIGETRON Esports. That has got to hurt.
It's a great comment coming out from AEROWOLF because what they really need to make sure that Farsa stays alive no matter what. Clay is a playmaker for the team. She's the, I mean, Farsa is the only person that can zone everybody out, combo along with the side of Renazmi. But Midgard have to play the black sheep here. I'm talking about Midgard has to bait everybody's ultimate out first, especially Bravo's Divine Judgment. That's really crucial for it to be out if they want to engage or force a fight.
If they wanted to sacrifice anybody, it has to be Renazmi or Rave. Either one of them going down isn't going to matter too much for the team because the bigger ultimates are going to be so much more important. Watt needs to survive. If they bait out Atlas's ultimate as well as Kaja's ultimate, it's going to give him a very huge green light to actually go for the big engage. And now the siege is coming through. Mid-tier 1 in trouble. Dreams does find the initial catch onto Rave. Rave doesn't have his Purify just yet, but he didn't want to bite this bait of Rave. He's not the priority.
Yep, they don't want to bait too much by Rave here, but Rave needs to do something. Place more traps, whatever it is, just give a bit of advantage, like the map control for the side of AEROWOLF is more than enough. They have to put everything on the plate here. It's now or never for the side of AEROWOLF. They need to win this so bad. We can sense the desperation here. Dreams were being forced to use just now that Fataling. This is the moment they're waiting for. We can see how the side of AEROWOLF try to advance bit by bit, but waiting for the right time here to place themselves in the right position. Dreams, low takeoff health, but there's no more Fatal Links. That's one ultimate down. All that's left here now is the Divine Judgment.
Yeah, Midgard using his ultimate is very, very short, so he doesn't have to wait too much. Watt's able to solo Lord by himself, but now King Brands wanting to get into the fight. Midgard, 1 HP. Will he go down? No, he does not. And now King Brands is down. GENFLIX AEROWOLF take control over this game as BIGETRON Esports are just running. They can't really hold on to a lot of these turrets themselves. They have to sacrifice what they can to save their bigger resources for later on.
Yeah, nobody on the side of BIGETRON Esports want to sacrifice themselves to just face check all the bushes or even bait the ultimates. Like, the only thing that set things up for the side of AEROWOLF is Renazmi penalty zone.
Yeah, and they also don't want to get caught up by the frost traps from Rave as well. Those are very, very like it seems like it's not a big deal, but the fact that But the fact that the fact that a marksman has some form of CC in a form of a trap, there's not a lot of heroes in MLBB that can actually do that. And now we're seeing the siege coming down on mid tier 2 and the anti-QRS coming in from Taka. Can they actually go further with this?
As long as they actually make good use of the Lord on top, they can push straight, at least inhibit the tower. But at the same time, on the side of BIGETRON Esports, their defense is quite tough as well. We're talking about having Nana burst. There's also Dreams waiting for another Fatal Link drop here. Can Taka actually buy more time for the team? He is going in without hesitation. But Dreams still haven't landed on one Fatal Link on 2 people there. But no follow-up just yet. Nice, beautiful penalty zone. And this is just them getting double kill with a blazing duet, beautifully follow up by the side of AEROWOLF members here. They are winning this with 2 members down the side of BIGETRON Esports on the trade of Midgard. Midgard is having a rough time, but as long as his team still survive, that's what really matters.
My God, Watt is so good at Claude. Like, it's not even funny. Like, King Brand's really tried to stick on top of him. Dreams was even so close to catching him off, but his reactions to it all is just insane. And Watt is just hard carrying this game with the help of Renazmi and Clay to kind of just slow down the bleeding and just push that knife deeper into BIGETRON Esports' hearts.
Oh, they cannot finish the game in one shot, but they do have a lot of space to clear up the map and just stunt the growth of BIGETRON Esports economy. Right now, they need to keep the momentum. One mistake, they get caught, if Watt get picked off by BIGETRON Esports, that's the end of it.
Yeah, and right
just
now,
one time.
At this point in time, I think Watt is pretty much uncatchable by if King Brands were to go into a 1v1, only because of that winsome nature. Preventing that physical damage is going to be important for King Brands, who is so built around burst. He did just buy his BOD, so if Watt makes a mistake, you know that King Brands is going to get a kill.
Yep, that's true. As long as he doesn't overexpose himself about his position. He's playing it very safe as well. You can see that he's far behind, making sure that the rest of the team of BIGETRON Esports, especially that Divine Judgment, that Divine Judgment surely will be just purely to be used on just Watt himself. So they try to bait that one out first.
Yeah, and as of right now, the goal lead is not going to matter when the next Lord comes up in about 42 seconds, because again, by then, BIGETRON would already hit the 42K mark, which means that Lancelot should be at close or at full build.
At the same time, don't forget about Taka. He is playing as a late game hero as well.
That is true. I'm just interested that Bravo is going for the full damage build. Lightning Truncheon as well. Lightning Truncheon, he has the Impure Rage as his emblem. His Calamity Reaper just bought the Fleeting Time as well, so...
I do hope he actually go for more defensive items, you know.
That's what
so he can actually go dive in and drag Watt out of his place.
That's what I personally thought initially, but I think they just need to have a little bit of magic damage just to kind of force the optimization out of GENFLIX AEROWOLF to go into
I was hoping Nana to
shields.
go for that one.
True, but it's tough still. Oh, Renazmi getting caught in a very compromised position here. Is he looking for the re-engage? He doesn't have his flicker to make play. Midgard can't really get into the fight. Penalty zone does not land on anybody there. That's going to be two huge ultimates being wasted for the side of GENFLIX AEROWOLF. However, Watt utilizing that time to take away the Lord.
Oh, but wait for it, Dreams. Probably just have to force this wall later on onto the pits of the Lord himself. He resets it, and Watt is not so happy about this as well. But Dreams, they managed to catch one out, but Rave running around, trying to make sure he will stay alive. But that being denied, Poppy's immortality. At the same time, Brest trying to finish it off. But the base! They forgot to see the base!
They didn't see the back door, and that's why midway through the fight, I was just like,